Greetings. Happy Monday to you. Here we are with our usual check-in. I'm a few minutes late. Had some technical issues this morning. And I know US friends, happy Memorial Day, and UK friends, I believe, have a long weekend too. Anyways, I hope you had a lovely weekend and that you are feeling the effects of what we're going through. So we do this weekly check-in to see where we're at as planetary beings. And if you're here, say hi. But the thing that I wanted to sort of feel into with you today is we had the new moon on Friday. And so we're still, good morning, Annie. We're still feeling the effect of the new moon. So here's the thing about a new moon is it's time to set intentions. And it's actually said by some of the people I follow that the intentions we set now will ripple out for the next 6 months. And that's going to be carried out by some of the planets that are in retrograde. I believe we actually are going through 4 retrogrades, which retrogrades really inspire and support taking things at a different pace and really looking within for our insights, our guidance. But we're still working through coming back, taking restrictions off and the going back to what are new. I don't like saying normal, but that's kind of what, for want of a better word. Good morning, Teresa. For want of a better word, I'm going to say normal, but I don't really mean that. I think we should say abnormal. So here's the thing. I encourage you, this is what I'm doing, is looking at setting intentions at a different pace that's really into the idea of the old ways aren't coming back. They weren't working. Our toxicity in our mind, toxicity in the way we treated the planet, Mother Earth, wasn't working. And so I really encourage you to look at and embody things like, where's my joy? How can I follow my heart today? How can I feel fulfilled, aligned with my purpose, with our soul's calling? And this is about surrender, which is basically what we're doing when we look at the letting go process, is about surrender. So when I say surrender, I don't mean I'm not going to do something or I'm going to, good morning, Neva. What about the new norm? The new norm? Okay, we'll say the new norm. I like that. But this idea of surrender, sometimes people think, oh, surrender is like saying, that's it, I'm out, I'm not doing anything. What I'm talking about surrender is the really powerful piece that says, I surrender to the flow of life that's coming through me, and I know and trust. So here's the thing, is that this is about leveling up our own access to our higher self. That's what I feel like of surrender is about, is I'm only going to do the things that I can do that are in my power. What can I do? And so that's why I'm saying I can say, good morning, Yvonne. I can say, where's my joy? Where's my sense of fulfillment? Am I feeling satisfied? See that? Am I feeling satisfied? That could really help create a space to make better choices, to make aligned choices. I always do this, aligned with your core self, with your inner self, with your inner wisdom. So all that being said, and if you've already started setting intentions, that's great. But I really encourage you over the next couple of days to just really jot down a few things, and it can just be really lighthearted. I want to feel my joy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to notice and recognize my alignment with my calling and see what comes from that. And so let's all take a nice deep breath. I like to just sort of tap into the energy and share with you what I feel is going on. I hope it resonates with you. And so I'm just shuffling letting go cards. So just clear your mind. We can put off that intentions setting for the moment. And perhaps we could pose the question, in order to get that that clarity on intention, that clarity on what is to surrender. What can we let go? What can we let go of? And so let's see what comes up for us today. And it's anger or resentment. That's an interesting card to come up because, you know, the other part of all this, the new, Neva says the new norm, is as we're finding into that, and we also are all processing some form of grief because the old ways are gone and done, but we will all experience some form of grief. And so if you're familiar with the 5 stages of grief, anger is one of them. And you know, one of my mentors was saying the other day that when we see these protests and the protests across the world, like where we saw them in the States, that's anger. That is actually an indication of those people being at that stage of grieving. And so for myself, I find that noticing that and just witnessing that, like I see people getting angry about having to line up to go into the grocery store. Well, that's part of them grieving too. So maybe we can start letting go of some of that and processing through of it. So let me read this out to you. Anger or resentment. You are being guided to release all anger and resentment. Anger eats at you from the inside. You can learn how to make peace with those who have wronged you. This is not about condoning bad behavior or actions. It's about alleviating the pain that builds within you. Keep in mind, those that anger you control you. The purpose of releasing resentment is to increase your energy and to feel better. Select a target, like a critical parent, a controlling partner, a cutthroat colleague, or perhaps you've tried to discuss this grievance with no result. Always try to work things out if the person's receptive. Or your target or this person may actually be unapproachable. In either case, away from the person, air your resentments without censoring them. Do this in a journal or with a coach or a friend. Truth is that honestly and fully expressing your feelings is necessary to forgive. In a quiet moment, reach to find compassion for the person's shortcomings or limitations, not the event or the deed itself. This may be very hard work. What insecurities or fears motivated them? Why is the person's heart so closed? What caused this? What caused their moral blindness? Try to discern the context of the person's actions. At this point, you may inwardly be able to ask yourself to start to forgive. Perhaps you're not there yet, and that's okay. The request itself sets up a stream of compassion in a cleansing of your system. Repeat the exercise once a day for at least a week and see if your energy improves. You will most likely feel a burden lift. So like I said, this is a big piece to clear off for that piece around setting our intentions. So if you start finding yourself getting angry or irritated, angry at, people doing things or saying things, or, getting upset when you see something on Facebook, just see if you can do that, something like that process that I just shared with you, because it's not going to serve you. And sometimes anger can be used for you to ignite fire in your belly to do something. That's the positive aspect of anger. But the negative aspect of it is when we start holding on to it and telling a story with it. And so that's what that process is about, to help you just visit it and see, can you let it go? And so now I'm shuffling my tarot cards, because for these sessions I like to pull us 1 tarot card and then 3 angel cards, just for us to get a wee bit deeper into this whole piece. This gives us some support as well. Oh, good. Too funny. Look at this. It's the moon. So that's what we started off this conversation on. That Friday's new moon is really beckoning us. It's asking us to set these intentions, to drop into the wisdom, the answers that are whispering in your ear, that are trying to get your attention, and in this new way of being, this new way of showing up in our own lives. So that's a really, really powerful part. So perhaps you could follow your dreams. Perhaps you could set some intentions that say, I'm going to take a pause. That was my intention for this week. I'm going to take a pause and just make sure, am I aligning with my calling? Am I aligning with what brings me joy, which makes me feel fulfilled and satisfied? So just see if there's an anchor that you can use to tap into that awareness too. And so now let's get our 3 angel cards to wrap this up for this week. And these are always awesome. Okay, so here's the first one, is body care. So what kind of intentions do you need to set, or resentments even in your own body? Do you sometimes look in the mirror and say, oh, I should lose some weight, or I don't like these wrinkles or these gray hairs or whatever? So look at releasing any kind of anger or resentment about your own body, and do what you need to sacred self-care. Perhaps you could listen to music and allow that to guide you into this listening. This is the outcome part is listening. So in that, there's such a beautiful interweaving of the following the cycles of the moon, the phases of the moon, and letting go of anger or resentment, and following your own inner guidance, listening to what is your higher self. I wish you a wonderful week. Like I said, this one's powerful, and I really feel like this is us opening up to setting those amazing intentions that are going to carry us, like I said, for 6 months. Because we're working with this Saturn retrograde. This is a big one. And so then the more we can tap into that planetary being that we all are, that we can follow those insights. We can receive the guidance from the moon. So I wish you a wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Much love to you.